This is Colonel Panic FM, hosted by Tommy Rogers. Tommy is the founder and director of Ghost Signal Media and Aurora Access, and the head of Silent Signal Group, a technology, research, and advocacy company building AI systems, accessibility infrastructure, and tools that move the disability community forward. He is also the author of I Was Listening the Whole Time, a cerebral palsy memoir now available on Amazon. Colonel Panic FM is where tech, disability, and the stuff nobody else wants to say out loud all collide.
What's up, everyone? My name is Tommy Rogers, and I am the author of I Was Listening the Whole Time, a cerebral palsy memoir. Hey, speaking about books and stuff, I recently released a new book. It's called Fractures You Can't See. It can be found on Amazon. It is a book about trauma intelligence and about trauma and cerebral palsy. But yeah, it mainly focuses on trauma intelligence and just trying to better educate on those certain areas. I will possibly make another video covering the book Fractures You Can't See, but I Was Listening the Whole Time, a cerebral palsy memoir, and Fractures You Can't See are both available on Amazon, and both of the links will be in the video description. Honestly, if you guys want to purchase any of my books, it would be beneficial for you to use the links in the description, because every time that you purchase through my links, I get a commission from Amazon on top of my book sale or sales. I appreciate you nonetheless. And anyway, let's get to the video. Exciting news. I'm going to be starting a nonprofit soon. The nonprofit is going to be based in Maryland, and there will be more information to come soon. I'm excited for the future, and I'm also excited for this nonprofit, and I'm hoping through the nonprofit I am able to accomplish real change and also educate and just spread awareness about certain things and make a better life for the disability community in general, and more specifically, people with cerebral palsy. You know, I always feel kind of bad when I say, like, specifically cerebral palsy work, right? But then I remember I have cerebral palsy. Yes, I want to do general work for the disability community, and I genuinely want a better life for everybody with disabilities, regardless of what disability you have. But at the end of the day, I specifically have cerebral palsy. So a lot of my work is going to be based on cerebral palsy. And something that I need to get better at and that I need to change is I need to feel less bad for saying, hey, this work directly benefits people with cerebral palsy, or this work is directly meant to impact or improve the lives and individuals with cerebral palsy. You know, because at the end of the day, I want very badly to help the disability community, but I specifically have cerebral palsy, and from this point forward, I'm gonna stop feeling kind of bad or selfish for specifically catering certain pieces to cerebral palsy, or making comments that this certain topic is relevant to cerebral palsy and cerebral palsy only. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. I hope I'm making sense. I'm gonna keep this in the in the um, in the episode, because look, man, I've been doing a lot recently. I think my work shows it, you know, everything that I've been doing. But ultimately, I'm putting myself out there, and I'm getting out of my comfort zone. I'm forcing myself out of my comfort zone because I truly value what I'm trying to accomplish, and I value the work that I'm doing. Like, for example, right now, as we speak, as I'm filming this or recording this, sorry, I currently am in my wheelchair with my seatbelt on, just speaking to the like computer or into the mic because I have a microphone. But yeah, bro, not all of my work is gonna be perfect, you know, especially these podcasts because I don't really plan these things out. Yes, I go by a little bit of a script. I know generally what I'm gonna say, but you gotta understand, um, when I do these podcasts and stuff, even though I know what to say and stuff, I know what to focus the video on and stuff. Um, my body goes through severe overload, like severe overflow. My involuntary movement flares up. My posture is horrible. Um, Obviously, the posture thing has been addressed by my seatbelt because now I'm wearing a seatbelt. But even though the posture thing is being addressed by the seatbelt and I'm being held in my chair by the seatbelt, um, my pelvis area is being forced to withhold or withstand a lot of pressure because like I want to spasm against the seatbelt, and my involuntary movements are fighting against the seatbelt. And unlike when I was younger, you know, my current seatbelt, even though it's a good seatbelt, it has no padding. So I am just legitimately on the actual strap itself, and it's digging into my waist. It's very uncomfortable, if I do say so myself, but it helps me stay in place. So I force myself to use it. Plus, it helps me maintain being productive. But sometimes it can negatively intertwine with my trauma because I have trauma around straps and being restrained. So, yeah, regardless of the benefits that my seatbelt is bringing, it is bringing some negatives as well, such as it's kind of reinforcing certain trauma. Um, that's one reason why I avoided using it in the first place. And then, even though I don't really care about the physical discomfort, it does um, it does bring the physical discomfort. But like I said, the positive is I stay in my chair and I don't have to worry about like always correcting my posture. But the question is here, um, how much am I supposed to endure? You know, I understand that this seatbelt is keeping me in place and it's technically doing a good job, but how much am I supposed to endure my body having to fight against straps? You know, that is my thing. You know, what are we going to do about the actual involuntary movement? Because right now it just seems like one of the main solutions for me with my team, and I'm just trying to understand myself. But it's like one of the main solutions with my team is like, oh, let's put them with a seatbelt. Let's put them with pelvic straps, or a pelvic harness. And I completely understand that, and I respect it, and I will gladly force myself to try to adapt wherever. But if somebody is reporting to you with trauma related to straps and restraints, why would you restrain him or her? Sorry. But why would you do that? But I will continue my best to try to make sure that I get the best care and the best accommodations that I am entitled to. So, yeah. Most parents, when their kid messes up, take something away. Their phone, their computer, their video game system, something. That's usually the standard method to try to teach your kid a lesson or try to discipline or recommend your kid take away something they like their computer, their phone, their social circle, their online access, something. For an able-bodied teenager, I can see how that is logical, and while I still don't agree with the technique, I can still see where that is applicable. For able-bodied teenagers. Now, I want you to take a step back for a minute and imagine a kid or a teenager that is not able-bodied. Imagine one that uses a wheelchair. Imagine one that is disabled. It wouldn't be just as easy for us to go outside and like knock on our friend's door or go to our friend's house, you know. Especially a kid like me, a G4 quadriplegic, wheelchair bound, you know. I never really have had a wheelchair that was properly fitted to me, besides one wheelchair that was a Q7 when I was 14 years old. But yeah, besides that wheelchair, every other wheelchair that I've had in my whole entire life has never been proper or fitted to me, you know. Despite professional opinion saying otherwise, you would think like the professionals would know what was best for a child that had spastic cerebral palsy, you know. But no offense, maybe it was because the knowledge about cerebral palsy wasn't very broad when I was younger, or I don't really know what excuse, but maybe it was because the professionals when I was younger wasn't as experienced in cerebral palsy as they could have been as they are today. All I can say about that whole ordeal is I hope cerebral palsy, like occupational therapists, are more educated on cerebral palsy as a whole, especially when like they're doing wheelchair fittings and such. Um, Especially like cerebral palsy is a bunch of things, but especially like with my specific cerebral palsy with the involuntary movements, you know. Um, and I think occupational therapists right now and physical therapists to some extent or are failing, you know, um, people with cerebral palsy, especially people with cerebral palsy with the involuntary movements, because I still feel, even to this day, that cerebral palsy with involuntary movements is still like the abyss. And don't even get me started about um, like the knowledge, like the professional doctor knowledge about cerebral palsy and trauma, or cerebral palsy and um, trauma intelligence, or cerebral palsy and how trauma can affect the cerebral palsy. I feel like doctors and overall information about like that is very, very lacking, you know. And I also hope throughout my work um, I can better educate for that area, you know. I know right now what I said probably doesn't make sense, but I hope it does make sense to the ones that it's important to. You're not always going to be perfect, man. And on my websites, I hold my articles to a very high standard, right? But doing these videos with you guys, like talking to you guys, uh, I'm fighting with involuntary movement. I'm fighting with having to get my thoughts together, articulate my thoughts to you guys. Um, you know, and as I keep on doing videos and such, I'm getting better with just, you know, sitting back and just talking. But it still brings on a physical strain for me. So even though I hold my articles to a very high standard, when I'm doing these videos are just going to be kind of relaxed. I'm going to hold myself to a high standard still, but I'm going to let myself relax with these videos, you know, because I need to give my body grace, and I need to realize that me even talking to you right now and articulating right now is a big achievement for me, man. Because I am successfully articulating my thoughts under pressure because of my anxiety, because I'm technically public speaking, but I'm able to articulate my thoughts under pressure right now, um, with the involuntary movement, and that's a huge achievement for me. So I don't really care if like my speaking is jumping from point to point, or like speaking about a lot of things at once. I think that this is a huge achievement for me, and I'm just gonna take it how it is, you know. And the ones that really value this kind of work, and the research I'm doing, and the effort I'm putting in with stuff, you guys will stay by. You guys will stay by this work. You guys will stay by me, um, you know. And not everybody is gonna understand what I'm doing here, you know. Not everybody's gonna see my effort, but the ones that do, you guys are the ones that matter, you know. Um, I like to think that I can make a difference for the disability community, and even though I have a pretty taxing physical disability, cerebral palsy, G4, quadriplegic, spastic cerebral palsy, um, the work that I'm doing is very worth it. And even though it's very taxing on my body, um, I like to think that I am enduring the physical labor and the physical tax to make it easier for other people with disabilities uh, later later on in the future. Or all I can hope is my work is going to make a difference in somebody's life. So I will continue doing that. Um, you know, I love what I do, man. Even though, like, it runs down my body, but it's worth it. I just hope that the right people see this, and that they see the effort that I'm putting in. Um, Cerebral palsy is very taxing, man. But the ones that try, we try very hard. Anyway.